Hello everyone, today again I'm back with a new video, a podcast with a speaker, Ishita Khanna. She is a freelancer, content writer, social media marketer, and freelancing influencer. So to know more about her, just visit her LinkedIn profile. I will be sharing in the description box. So thank you so much, Ishita, for accepting my invitation, and I'm very glad to have you on my channel and to interact with you. So we will start with your brief introduction as already I introduced, but there might be something I am missing out. So please give your introduction.
Sure. So firstly, thank you for inviting me, Raju, to your channel and your podcast as well. So apart from that, as you all know, that my name is Ishita Khanna. Currently, I am pursuing my graduation. I'm in the last year of my graduation, but apart from that, I have been working as a freelance content writer from past 2 years. Like I have been writing content since 2019, and I am the founder of a firm named Quackboo. So I and one of my friend Nikhil Bhatia started Quackboo last year in 2020. And it's been 1 year that we have a great team of 10 members working with us. Some are working on full time, some are working on freelance basis. Apart from that, I am personally working as a freelance content writer. I have worked with the Times of India. I'm a blogger there. Apart from that, I have worked with Max Group and many other brands like Myntra, Unacademy, Pepsi, and Dice Media. So yeah, like being a freelancer, being a content writer, my journey was full of ups and downs. Apart from that, it had a lot of adventures and I would say a lot of beautiful upcomings in my life. And that's the reason I have a goal to pursue this freelancing throughout my life, no matter what. So yeah.
That's great introduction, really. You're working with your team. So the first question we will start it as a what is the content writing? That how should someone start it as a career?
Okay, so let's talk about what is content. To be honest, whatever we are seeing around us, like this particular session, whether it's social media, whether it's a particular advertisement, or we can say the banners or the whatever the people see around them, whether on YouTube, whether on Google, whether on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or any of the applications as well. So everywhere content plays the most important role, sometimes in the form of description, sometimes in the form of reviews. For example, if you're a person, you want to buy something, you'll go through the reviews, right? So content plays the most important role in this particular genre in everything, whether it's like the traditional methods or the digital methods. Content plays the most important role according to me. So yeah, that's what I can explain. As people usually say, like content is the king, and like content is not the king, it's the kingdom. So this is something very particularly suit like what is content. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. So can you tell that how you started your content writing? When?
So I basically started when I did a few internships. Like I was in college and I was constantly like, I have to do something. I never thought about what I will be doing. I never thought about how I will be doing. The thought was just to do something. So basically, I joined few clubs of my college, the marketing club. Basically, I started with graphic designing and marketing. And after that, I gradually inclined towards the content. That wasn't ever the plan. It was just accidental. Like I'm an accidental content writer, to be honest. So the graphic designing part as well was just because I wanted to do something. I wanted to learn something. So I joined a few clubs. Then after that, I joined a few internships as an HR. I have even worked as an HR manager for 1 year. After that, I was like, okay, I have to start something of my own. And I did I wrote two of the blogs earlier, but those were, I would say, the worst ones. But still, I gave it a try. And I was like, no, this is something not meant for me. After 6 to 7 months, I again thought of giving it a try once again because I liked writing content sort of thing. Because to be honest, I'm an introvert. Like not right now. I was an introvert 2 years back. And I always loved writing something or the another. I used to write sometimes stories, sometimes whatever is going on in my head. So I was like, no, I'll give it a try once again. I created a portfolio of mine. I wrote a few of the samples, and then I started working on my blog post on Medium and all stuff. I created my own website on WordPress. all the essentials that I thought that it's required for me to boost up the progress. So that's how, and I got my first client in, I guess, November around. And that particular client is still working with me, touch wood, like I'm really happy for that. So that's how I gained the confidence that, okay, clients are actually loving to work with me. And gradually I started creating content on LinkedIn. LinkedIn was the platform and is still the platform from where I get most of my clients and most of my leads. So gradually I shifted on to Instagram, and like now, as of now, I'm working on LinkedIn and Instagram to get clients leads everywhere. And yeah, sort of, I'm working on my personal brand, which is going by the name Ishable. Like I got the tattoo as well for the same. I hope you can see
Great.
that.
Yeah.
So Ishable was something that means Ishita is able. So
Oh,
there was a time when I was a science student. I scored 75% in 12th, and everyone was like, you cannot do anything, you have scored very less and all stuff. I wanted to become an architecture, and because of the less scores I had to drop that idea. So like there was a lot of negative part in my life a long back, not a long back, like 3 to 4 years back. So I eventually started gaining a little bit trust in myself after doing internships and all, that okay, I can do something. I don't know what exactly, but something is there. I have that caliber to do something. So that's how it all went.
it's really very great and inspiring, your journey. So, what is your demography or the topics that you cover in content?
Okay, so to be honest, I'm a person who usually gets bored of a niche very easily. So I usually prefer writing content in multiple niches. Just example, if I have to write content in the niche of crypto, so I have been writing on like crypto since past 6 months. But apart from that, I'm working on multiple other niches too, related to tech, related to fashion, travel, some sort of descriptions. Then marketing is something my favorite to write content. So I have been writing content in like in the niche of digital marketing, lead generation, social media marketing, SaaS companies, and all stuff. So to be honest, I usually prefer covering multiple niches. Like 2 days, I can maximum write the content on one niche for 2 to 3 days. Not more than that. I usually get bored of it. So yeah, I prefer working on multiple niches.
Okay. So, how you manage your client? Like there can be a different clients with a different topic. So, how you categorize them or go for the someone's like a specific with the topic?
All right. So see, to be honest, when I started content writing, I was a very fresher. I wasn't good at content writing. I didn't knew the basics of content as well, like the SEO, meta descriptions, meta titles, LinkedIn, all the stuff. I was very new to the world. But for the first 6 months, I made a rule that okay, whatever will come in, I'll accept that, not just for the sake of money or to get the clients, but for the sake of learning. So the same thing I pursue till now, and I'll pursue in future as well. So I stepped my foot into freelancing because I always wanted to learn things. If right now I am talking to you, this is just because freelancing, because being an introvert, I have never talked to people in my college as well. Like we had 100 students in the class, and I was the one who have never talked to even one of my classmates. And now I am talking to thousands of people in a month, in 6 months, or somewhere around.
Yeah,
So to be honest, like for example, if I've got the content, I have got a client who wants me to write website content. So with that, I learned about how I have to do competitor analysis, how I have to do research, how I have to come up with the better taglines. So it's not about you are the best suit for the content or not. I would say it's all about whether you want to learn that particular thing or not. So if something new is coming to your way, it depends upon you whether you want to accept it and learn it, put like invest your time in it to give the best results or output to your client, or you just want to let it go and focus on what's working the best for you. So
exactly.
as of now, it's been 2 years, and still, like I have few niches that I've settled for, that okay, this is something I'll keep with me for upcoming years for a long term. But still, there are a few I'm dicey with them, whether I actually want to work on them or not. So I keep accepting them and like keep learning, and eventually within like few months or weeks I get to know that okay, this is something I've used I would say, like, I literally don't want to work on it, then only I just say no. So I would say one of the niches that I really don't like to work on, we can say, is real estate, to be honest.
Yeah.
So like I used to take real estate clients 1 year back, but it's been 6 to 7 months and I'm like, whenever it comes to the real estate part, I'm like, no, I'm done with real estate. Apart from that, if you have anything, I'll do it. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. So how you approach the exact content of the content, that what the client is expecting from you?
See, to be honest, the better communication, the better results. This is the one thing I would say. And to explain this thing, for example, if I got a lead from LinkedIn, then I usually prefer to get on a call with them as soon as possible, within a day or two, after sharing my portfolio, work samples, everything. Once they feel a little bit, like I would say 10 to 20% confident that, okay, this person have worked in this niche, so he or she, like, I can work on it. After that, I get on a call with them. I usually ask the required questions, not like, what are you doing, why you have this brand or something. Questions like, I would say, why you want this content, whom you want to reach out, what sort of client conversions you need, what are you expecting from the content. So there are specific questions for the particular niche. For example, if I'm writing an article for press release, so for the same, I'll ask each and everything about that particular person or that particular brand. Talking about the article, I'll go through the previous articles of the company. If they want something in that particular, I would say, format. If they want a new format, then of course, I'll ask them the better questions, depending upon their brand, whether they are into tech field or whether they're into non-tech field. So depending upon them, questions, like I would say, in short, ask questions, know your client better, know your client's requirements better, like what they want, why they want, and how about, like, how long they want it. So everything matters. In short,
Okay,
better communication, better results.
okay. So how you make yourself, like your content, a very exceptional from others, like to be standing out of the crowd in a content world?
Okay. So let's talk about you and me. You might be having the perspective for the like, what is content? You asked me the question. You might be
Yeah,
having a different perspective for that, right? For you,
exactly.
content might be something different. For me, content is something else. For me, content is my whole life. Everything I'm doing, content is a part of it.
Yeah.
So the same goes for, like, how to make content different from others. Usually what beginners do, or I can say what people do, are they usually create a group of people or a list of people whom they think are perfect. I'm not saying actually those people are perfect, whom they think, or you can say whom I think are perfect. I'll create a list of people. And then after reading their content, I will try to create something on those terms itself. So what happens? I am missing out on my thought process, what I think, what
Exactly.
I want to do, what I actually feel about that. So to be honest, if you want your content to stand out, if you want your content to be exceptional from others, only focus on what you want to go with, what you think about it. If you will keep on consuming others' content and without creating something of your own, like according to your mind perspective, the content will not be different from others, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So how
So
you used to charge your client?
okay, this is a typical question.
Yeah.
So when I started out, I used to charge per word, and let me specify, I used to charge 0.39 paisa per word.
Oh,
So of course, I said, like, I was a totally beginner. Since, like,
yeah.
still I got the clients. I'm really thankful to each and everyone who trusted me at that time when I was starting out. So now I usually charge on three bases, sometimes per word, sometimes per project, and sometimes per hour as well. So for the editing and proofreading part, I charge per hour basis, on the per hour basis. For some sort of articles, like I would say, if there are articles in bulk, then I prefer charging for the whole project. If there are articles like 2 to 3 articles in a month, then I go with per word basis, depending upon the client's requirement too. And for usually, I would say, the website content and all stuff, like for the copywriting part, I charge per project. So yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So the next is how someone how someone can get the first client if someone is starting as a content writing their career. So how he should go for the to get the first
Okay.
client.
So just wanted to ask you how you got to know about me.
Yeah, I got to connect you on the LinkedIn. I saw your profile. It was really very. I was so excited to meet you.
Exactly. So that's what happened. Like that's how you will get clients or someone who wanted to get their first client. That's the point. If you will put out yourself on social media or if you're telling people that you're a content writer, and once people are understanding that, okay, you are a content writer in this particular niche or that, they will start finding out you. They'll start connecting with you. That you connected with me because you find my profile on LinkedIn. Because I was putting out the content there, I had like my profile was optimized with the cover picture, with the about us section, with the feedbacks, recommendations, featured section. Everything was, I won't say like it was on point, but things were available there so that you can go through the stuff and you will be like, you were able to know about me. The same way you can get the client. So basically, there are multiple methods. I won't say there is only LinkedIn available. So to get clients, you can use any of the platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I would say Facebook you can use when you're starting out. And if you're not very sure about creating that content on LinkedIn, then of course you can go with Facebook to get your first initial clients. So these are the three platforms. Apart from that, cold emailing, the very underrated method, but the most powerful, like powerful method.
Exactly. Yeah.
To be honest, I got I got one of my best high paying clients in February from cold emailing.
Oh, great.
And I got my first high paying client like from the inbound leads through Facebook. People usually say like Facebook is something from where you won't be able to get high paying clients or something. But I actually got my very first high paying client through Facebook itself. So I would say if you're not trying out things, you won't get the best out of it. If you're just listening to people that, okay, don't use this, don't use that, then of course you will just stick to the limited options. So this is the one thing that I actually love doing. I love to explore, and I actually did. I looked out on the like LinkedIn. People were saying that Facebook is not the best option to get clients. Like, of course, once you are into this particular field on LinkedIn and everything, you won't like Facebook that much. But when you're starting out, I would say Facebook is a good option to get clients. So when you're starting out, don't miss out on any option. Try out your hands on everything. Start creating content on LinkedIn, start creating content on Instagram. Like pick two platforms at a time, not more than that. From Facebook, you can just cold pitch people like, okay, I'm the person to content writing. Whatever pitch you want to create depends upon you and your service, of course. But I would still say going on the platforms is okay, but don't miss cold emailing. Prepare your portfolio, prepare your pitch, at least try 2 to 3 samples. You can go on Medium, you can create your site on WordPress just to put out a few of your content samples. And yeah, voila, you can get the clients within, I would say, 15 days for sure.
That's great.
And yeah,
So
one more thing, I had people in my connection, like there were people who have worked with me as on freelance basis. And there were people who have worked with me on intern basis as well. Like I told, I have the company named Quackbook. So people have worked with me. But the best part, like if I had 3 people working with me, then out of 3, one was that person who started freelancing. And they actually got their clients within 10 to 15 days. With the process that I actually explained them, like how to create
okay,
content and everything. So yeah, if you're trying it out, you'll get it.
that's awesome. So okay, as already you mentioned, you work with your teams.
Of
Are you
course.
comfortable with working team member or separately? You are fine with these all things.
Okay, so to be honest, I am working as a freelance content writer separately. The team is working with me on my startup. So
Okay.
yeah, there is a
That,
difference between both.
okay. What's your views towards the like the content writing futures behind it? What do you think about it? Can it go for a long time? And
See, of course, content will have a long way to go. Content is never gonna die for sure
yeah,
because this is
it's
something
obvious.
which have been like I would say the content have been in this particular world since 19th or we can say 18th too. So I don't think content will go anywhere. Of course, there will be a little bit change in the process. There might be AIs and all stuff to
Yeah,
help us
exactly.
out with the content. But the content written by a human or the content written by a machine, still there will be a huge difference. So content is not going anywhere for sure.
Okay, exactly. So as you mentioned that you are studying as well, like you're so how did you manage these all things? As we are also students, some might be thinking of starting these all things.
To be honest, I am really bad at managing things. I really try to do, but as of now, I've recently started staying alone. My hometown is Mathura, but now I've started staying alone. So to be honest, the reason was because I was getting into my comfort zone because of my parents. They were there with me like for every time. Like when I was at home, I was just working on my work and the college part, of course. But when I'm staying alone, I would say it is little bit typical to manage time for sure. So I would say to manage time, prepare a to-do list. And if you have prepared it, then stick to it. I am really bad at sticking to my to-do list. But if you can do it, then that's the best part, I would say, to manage your time and everything. I personally miss my assignments. So if you are the one who preferably not want to miss the assignments or something, then I would say when, like, for example, you've got the assignment on 16th and the deadline is 20th, so I would say complete the assignment on 16th itself, because if you will delay,
Exactly.
for example, usually what happens, like I had an assignment to submit on 12th and I waited for the last moment, and at the last moment itself I got to travel, so I missed it. So I would say if you've got something to do it at that particular moment so that you won't miss it on the deadline.
That's it. Yeah.
So if we talk about managing things, if you are like studying and accordingly you're working on freelancing part, don't overload yourself with the client burden. Keep a particular I would say schedule kind of thing for yourself, like okay, in this month I'll take 5 clients, then just stick to that. Okay, in this month I'll take 10 clients, just stick to that. Don't overload yourself, otherwise you will just feel exhausted and you won't be able to work on the content, and you won't be able to come up with that good ideas at like while you are writing. So I think that's it, because I am really not good at managing things, so I don't think I'm the best person to answer this question.
That's awesome. So at last, can you give some suggestion or some tips that those who are gonna start this are interested in doing a content writing?
Okay. So see, if you want to start content writing, then there is not just one way, like that is freelancing. There are multiple ways. You can be a content creator, content writing, some sort of, like, of course, you're working in the niche of content. You can start your podcast channel if you want to be in this content part. You can even start your YouTube channel. You can even go for like writing blogs. You can even go for writing ghost writing articles and all. You can create your own blogging page. You can start writing content for different companies. You can start working under freelancers who are already established. So you can even get a job as a content writer. So I would say, of course, every aspect of content is different. Every niche where you will be creating or writing content is different. So I would say, firstly, analyze what sort of content you want to deal in, whether the audio one or whether the like written one. So I personally am into both. I usually do voiceovers too. I create YouTube videos too, not for myself, for my clients. I create reels, I create videos too. I recently started doing all this stuff. So I would say start with one thing and then go with like add on different things into your content part, and you can start. Talking about how to start. So I would say, firstly, learning about things is really important, but practicing is, I would say, 10 times more important. What people do, they just start. Once they start getting clients, they stop the major important processes. Like they stop creating content on social media, they stop promoting their services, they stop like adding on stuff in their portfolio. So if you are starting out, I would say keep learning, keep practicing, keep noticing around you, like what sort of content is going on around you, what sort of things people are like posting or creating, or you can even go through like what are the things ongoing, like whether people are getting, of course, like results, and I would say the profits to matter. For example, content writing, the basic blogs writing and all is good, but people are earning more into copywriting, to be honest. So
Exactly.
if you're starting out with the writing like blogs and articles, I would say that okay, do this particular thing for 6 to 7 months, but eventually start learning the other things too, like copywriting part. And other thing I would say, starting something is very difficult, but keeping that pace and continue doing the same thing on daily basis is 10 times more difficult. Because I have really faced it. In April, when I was getting a lot of clients, when I was maintaining that particular monthly income that I expected, after like I would say May, June, yeah, in July, I started marketing my services. One of the worst mistakes I've done till now.
Oh.
And because of that 1 month break, I had to start working on things all over the again. So I would say don't do these mistakes. Please just don't do it. So starting out, you need few things, some work samples, start cold emailing, prepare your portfolio, learn how to communicate with people. The very important thing. If a person is texting you, if a lead is texting you, then you should know how you have to answer them. Or like, for example, if a person has texted me like, okay, I want this sort of service into this particular niche and this many content. So now it depends upon you how you are converting that client. So it depends upon you how you are getting that client on call. So usually people shy out when it comes to contacting people or getting on calls. They usually prefer to get on like the chat conversation itself. But I would say getting on a call with person or the video call is the better option to convert them. Because when you're talking to people on face to face, the people actually get to know how much knowledge or information you have in that niche. So these are the few things that I learned throughout the process, like what's important and what's not. So yeah, I would say this is it as of now.
That's awesome. So thanks for sharing your experience and giving a very good suggestion for us. So I think we have covered a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm
Okay.
stopping here.